Now, how do you tell if your brakes are worn out? Well, when you step on the brake pedal and it feels like it's running through sand or grindy or something like that, that's bad. If they don't bite right away and give you a clean, smooth stop, that's bad. If you have a wobble in the wheel when you step on a brake, that's bad. All those things are most definitely brakes. Step one, check your tire pressure. If all four are good, then you're good to go. The right pressure is usually on the inside of your driver door jamb or even written on the freaking tire. So even tires break even. If the tires aren't even pressure, they're not going to break even. So try that first. Costs you about, 5 minutes of your freaking time. That's about all you can do. If it still feels like it's crunchy or grindy, check your mileage. Most brakes, if you drive like a normal person, you'll get about 60,000 miles out of them. I don't drive like a normal person. I only have about 20,000 miles on these brakes, and I think I lost them already. Now, this thing has got 60,000 miles on it, so when I put the first 40 on it, I went through the brakes so fast that I screwed up the rear caliper, and now it's seized, and I had to rebuild it. If you've never rebuilt the caliper, your mechanic probably won't rebuild them anymore. They'll just throw it away and buy a new one. So a caliper is like $150. If you go to the dealer, it's like $350. So next time you get an oil change and they say you need brakes, they're probably not lying. But now what do? Pads and rotors, or both, or just one or the other? The only way to really be sure is you got to pull off a wheel. All right, tires off. Oh yeah, Harbor Freight Jack, pretty cool. Works really great. But don't trust your life under the fucking thing, man. Use a jack stand. Don't be a cheap bastard. All right, so that's what it looks like when you have the tire off. This shiny thing is your brake rotor. This thing here is your caliper. And inside are these things here called the brake pad. The rotor spins. The caliper squeezes when you step on the brake. It's the brake hose. And then the pads squish the caliper and you stop. One really important thing I learned driving like an asshole the way I do is you need really good brakes. Without these things, you can't really stop. And don't forget, you got your family in the car. So all that heat, something's got to give. Either the rotors give or the pads give, depending on what kind of pads you have. So way down in here is the pad surface that rides on the rotor. That's what you got to look at. At the same time, you can run your finger on the shiny part up to where the rust begins to form. And there's probably going to be a little lip there from the pad squeezing it, which is kind of normal. But if there's a strong groove that feels like it was machined, then you might be looking at rotors. So now here's my pad. This is the back of the pad, and all of this black stuff here, that's all pad meat. There's a lot of meat on there. There's still a lot of meat on there, so I think my rotors are probably done. You know what's cool for the manufacturer too is that the pads are always grooved. So if you look right here, you see this groove right here? Where that groove ends, that's half a pad. So I got a lot of meat left here. These pads are brand new, so that's good. But the reason I'm losing my brakes is because the rotors are cooked in. Remember I was talking about heat? Well, heat kills rotors. I spent money for good pads, and they just chomped right through the rotors. So now I gotta get better rotors. Listen to the music. Tractor Supply Company.